Plaintiff Sharita Owens says the defendant is her aunt, and instead of taking care of her responsibilities, she spends her entire paycheck on clothes and shoes. Sharita is suing her for car payments and car repairs. Defendant Crystal McFerrin says Sharita has a bad attitude and she likes to fight. Crystal claims she's been spending all of her money on school clothes for Sharita's daughter. Therefore, she doesn't owe Sharita anything.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Okay, I want to first start off, like, me and my auntie had a great relationship when we was younger. She made sure that I had the best birthdays ever. But she can also be petty at times. Like, she threw a barbecue/seafood at her house one day.
When?
This was like around, was it Christmas?
Of this year or last year?
It was like last year, yeah. And she picked and chose who could have the seafood bag.
She picked what?
She was picking and choosing who could have the seafood bag.
Say that again.
She picked and choose who could have the seafood bag.
Bag.
Yes.
Okay. I thought you said back.
Yeah.
I thought you said she wanted her food back.
No.
All right, after giving it to the folks, give me that back. You. Give me that shrimp. You. Give me that catfish. Choose who to get it?
Yeah.
All right. Got it.
But like, she'll spend her whole paycheck on outfits and shoes instead of taking care of her responsibilities. I put a car in my name last year in April, a 2012 Nissan Murano truck.
For her.
For her, that she agreed to pay.
Before we
the
get to the specifics of the car, let me get some background from your aunt. Tell me about your relationship with your niece.
Well, my niece. Let me tell you about Sharita. Well, she have a very bad attitude.
Since when?
Like to fight.
You've known all her life, obviously. When did all this come about? When did she?
Well, one time when she was like 14, remember 14? You came in the house talking about some, I'm ready. I said, oh, so you ready? She said, yeah, I'm ready. So I choked her out.
The fight.
Choked her.
Wow. Dang, really?
You do that no more, did you?
Nope.
You were rebellious as a young lady?
Yes.
You seem very stable today.
Yeah, I changed.
Your life? Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
How old are you?
26.
When did, how did you do since adulthood, since 18? Did you got your diploma?
Yeah, I did.
After that, what'd you do?
I started working. Right now, I'm a store manager. I've been working there for 5 years.
Excellent.
All right. I just actually moved into my new home. Got a car.
Love it.
So yeah.
Love it. All right. And Auntie trying to play you.
In so many words.
And you won't let men play you, I know, because you're too smart for that. You won't let men play you, so Auntie say, well, let me play it, since ain't no man over there trying to take her money.
Oh, Lord.
Right. I'm proud of you. Good to hear that. After having a little rebellious years, you've come back in a big way, and you'll be district manager soon.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I'm heading towards it.
Huh?
I said I'm heading towards it.
That's right. I know how it goes. You go from store manager to district manager to a national director to a national vice president to the president. Mm-hmm. Then to CEO, then the chairman of the board. Mm-hmm. You're like a CEO. Don't you like a CEO to you?
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. So, you say she was rebellious then, but you heard all the great things she's done now. Are you all proud of her and all the things
I'm very proud of her. I'm very proud of what she do, but still in all, about her being grown, she still have that attitude problem.
She steals.
Yes.
You steal?
No, she said I still have an attitude problem.
Oh. I thought you said despite all that, she steals.
No, she have an attitude problem.
Oh, I knew you were talking about that. Yeah, I have fun. And attitude problem in what way? Tell me, give me some examples of how her attitude.
Okay.
In recent years, don't tell me about nothing. Just
okay,
14.
just a few weeks ago, Sharita parked in the lady parking spot over there by my house. And when the lady asked for her parking spot, Sharita wanted to fight.
How did she say it?
She get out the car.
She wasn't disrespectful toward her.
She got out the car. She told that lady.
Very disrespectful.
You was?
No, she
No,
was.
the lady. How did she ask her? Did she, get out my back?
No, she did not. Now, Sharita said that the son said she could park there. But my thing is, my whole parking spot was open. She could have clearly parked in my parking spot.
All right, but she did.
Why
The
block-
question is, why
block-
did she get into why did she?
Because
get an
the
attitude?
lady wanted her to move her car.
The lady
so
was
she
finna
could
tow
pull.
my car and she knew exactly who I was.
The lady don't
And
have no authorization.
She knew exactly who I was.
to
She speaks to me all the
tow
time.
your car. But that's not there, neither there or there, Sharita. Like you, Yana, she done had multiple altercations with this same lady for the same reason.
First time.
Well, jealous of her.
It might be.
Nice looking young lady, got her stuff together, got her own place, got a car, has a career. This lady is well off as her.
Yes, she is.
Show me a picture.
I don't got no picture of the lady.
Well then,
Somebody show me a picture.
you've known all her life, obviously. When did all this come about? When did she?
Well, one
How'd that
time when she
pattern?
was like 14, remember
14?
you came in the house talking about I'm ready. I said, oh, so you ready? She said, yeah, I'm ready. So I choked her out.
The fight.
Choked her.
Plaintiff Sharita Owens is suing her aunt, who claims Sharita has a bad attitude and likes to fight.
So proud of you. And you and that other young lady. How old
I am
is she?
too. She's in her 40s.
And messing with her. Hater. You hating. Oh, hating on this young lady. What else? Give me another hater that she had to have an attitude with. She just demands respect, and she has earned that respect. So give it to her.
I mean, that's understandable. That's very understandable. But it's the way you go about doing it too. If you're gonna be a woman and you're gonna be grown about it, you have to go about it being a woman. Not, oh well, she said something I don't like, well, we're gonna fight. Yeah.
You know,
that used to be me when I was younger.
Not
And I
still
think that's
into
where she get it
fighting, are you,
from.
though?
No.
You had to get away from that. You have a career. And don't risk that over some foolishness, all right?
That's
Don't
all
let
I be
people
trying to tell
trigger
them.
you
She
into
don't be
losing
trying to
your
listen.
career. That's my advice to you that I try and give to myself. I get a little bit out of shape too when I feel I'm being disrespected. Folks say, why you go off on those people in court? Only when I feel you've disrespected me. Made a fool out of me. You lied to me and you keep telling me a lie over and over and you interrupt me when I'm trying to get the truth out of you. That's disrespect to a judge. So there it have it. And I'm with you. Long. How you suing her for? What's the car payments and the car repairs?
Back in April of last year, I put a 2012 Nissan Murano truck in my name for her. This year around June, she took the car to the shop and missed June, July, August, and September payments. And the total car payments was $1,924. And the total car repairs is $924, which is $2,848 altogether. If you can also look on page 5, it shows you that I paid. Matter of fact, I paid like $150 for her, and she ended up paying like the rest. They start garnishing my checks. You can look on page 7, 8, 9, and 10 for the truck.
You usually get a collections notice first, don't you?
Everything go to her address.
When you spoke to her, what'd she say about it?
She didn't really say anything about it.
Your credit is ruined.
Yep.
Here you trying to build a life for yourself, barely over 25. What do you have to say about this, man?
Well, Sharita put a car in her name for me back in August. I've been paying the note all the way up until the car went into the shop June.
It was your car, right?
Yeah, it's my car. When I got the car in April, July, not even a few months later, I done put over $2,000 into this car.
It's yours.
So when I sent the car to the shop,
Who picked it out?
me. So, well, that's the car that they said she got
Whatever.
approved for.
You approved of it. You
So-
say, give me that used car that's going to break down in 2 months.
Okay, so I put the car in the shop June. When I put the car in the shop June, remind you, like she say, I paid $300 in page 2. I paid $300 and something dollars. She paid $150. far as July, August, and September, I had talked to the finance company and I told them once the car get out the shop, then I'll start resuming the payments on the car.
She bought her a whole nother truck.
Ma'am, I need to understand her logic. What does that have to do with it? When it gets out, I pay.
Well, I've been paying on it. Like I sent the $300 in. Far as the how much it is for it to get fixed, I want
to get past the confusion. You don't pay when your stuff go to the shop? You stop your payment?
No, that's not how it happens.
That's what I'm trying to understand.
Well, the reason why I couldn't make my payment because I was busy buying her daughter school clothes and school shoes that I spent $300 on.
And you knew you owed your payment, so instead you decided to buy school clothes?
Yes,
instead of paying
because her child schooling is more important than a car. It really is. School clothes
is
and
more
school
important
shoes.
Than her credit?
Then it is more important than her child. If her child can't go to school, then what?
Your response when I said, "How do you stop paying just because you have to get your car repaired? You stop paying for the car." I've never heard of anybody that
it's
thinks
not the
that
fact that
would
I
be the
stopped paying.
case.
It's just that I didn't have the funds
and
to
then
pay.
ask you what you said when I was trying to get clarity. You said, well, because I had to buy clothes and shoes for her daughter, and that's more important than paying a car note. Really? Not paying that car note that is in her name caused her to lose her credit, and I'm sure she could have held off on the school clothes unless the child had no clothes to wear.
No, she don't have nothing for that child.
Why don't you think you should have to pay?
I never said I didn't have to pay.
Okay, so what's your defense then? Nothing. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
Thank you.
You confused, very confused.
I'm glad I got my payments together, and she always feel like I'm wrong, so I'm glad that he proved that she was wrong and I was right.
Plaintiff Courtney Brooks dated the defendant, and she says everything was good at first until he became manipulative and didn't want her to hang out with her friends and family. Courtney's suing her ex today for the balance due on a loan. Defendant Garrett Meister says he's a family man, and he wanted to spend time with Courtney and her son, but she always wanted to go out and party. Garrett's countersuing because he claims Courtney harassed him at his job.
Start with you.
So I started dating Garrett in January of this year. When we first started dating, he was very sweet, he was very thoughtful, and he was definitely somebody I saw myself settling down with. After a while, though, I kind of started noticing he was manipulative. For example, if I wanted to go hang out with friends, he never told me I couldn't, but he would say that if I wanted to spend time with my friends instead of him, then I was putting him last on my priority list, and he wasn't important to me.
How's that manipulative?
Well, if I would like to go hang out with my friends, I'm allowed to hang out with my friends.
I'm trying to get the manipulative part. You said he was manipulative, and then you went into talking about that. So I'm just trying to connect the two to manipulation.
After a couple times of hanging out with my friends, he no longer wanted to really hang out with them. He never really wanted to spend time with people he didn't really get along with. But I was supposed to not have a problem hanging out with his friends, which I didn't. They were nice people, but if I wanted to hang out with my friends with him, he would say no.
Okay.
If I would like to go hang out with my friends, I'm allowed to hang out with my friends.
I'm trying to get the manipulative part. You said he was manipulative, and then you went into talking about that. So I'm just trying to connect the two.
Defendant Garrett Meister is being sued by his ex-girlfriend, who claims Garrett was manipulative.
Sounds like he was possessive and distrustful. You tell me what was up with her and her friends that you had a problem with, if true.
So as she said, we started dating in January. Things were really good at first. When I would come over to Courtney's house, I'd hang out with her 4, 5, 6 nights a week. Sometimes I just wanted to hang out with, have family time with me, her and her son. That's very important to me. I never like I said, I never told her she couldn't go hang out with her friends. If she wanted to go hang out with her friends, I said, okay, just call me when you get home or whatever the case may be. You know, I understand that they had the same thing when she wanted to go spend time with her family. We just didn't have a lot in common, you know, so I didn't choose to participate in those activities as often as she probably would have liked.
You didn't have a lot of it in common with who?
With her friends.
Okay.
So when I went over there with her, I felt like I was just kind of sitting there on my phone or, you know, being kind of out of the room, so to speak. You know, so she wanted to hang out with
Somewhat rude. I consider when people are in a social setting with you and all they do is look at their phone, then, you know, kind of by yourself, or it seems like they want to be by themselves.
Right. You know, so I chose, you know, to just, you know, have her, you know, she can have her friend time, but it became a lot. It was, you know, 4 to 5 nights a week that I was coming over to spend time with her and her son, and she'd always want to go hang out with her friends. And that was a constant issue that we had. And that was actually...
While you would be visiting, she'd want to leave and go with her friend while you would be visiting?
Correct.
She would say, okay, enough of this. I'm finna go hang out.
Correct.
That's a lie.
Okay. All right. So, how about her hanging out with you and your friends?
The only time that Courtney really hung out with me and my friends at the racetrack, I didn't really go... I just still don't hang out with my friends a lot. I usually go to work and I come home. Most of my time during our relationship was spent with me with Courtney.
And when did you discover that she was going out a little too often?
It was about 2 to 3 months in. You know,
90 days.
Huh?
90 days.
Yeah. That's correct, Your Honor.
That's when you start really seeing the true colors, but you don't quite know for about a year all the secrets, if then. Yeah. But the most important things about a person takes about a year to know them all. I got to tell people often, you can hide a crack habit for a year. You can hide a pill habit for a year. Right now, that woman you're dating might be on Vicodin and Percocet. You don't notice for a year. All right, they escape, duck, dodge, manipulate, and you don't know. So that's 90 days in. He says that things went bad. Not went bad, that things changed. And you changed in particular, it sounds like he's saying. I didn't hear him say anything about you using drugs and hiding it, but same thing. If you like to party all the time, you didn't do it the first 90 days, but suddenly you change up. What do you have to say to that?
Well, I didn't party. My best friend lives down the hall from me in our apartment building, and I would just go over there and hang out with her. She is also a really important part in my life because she's family, and she's family to my son.
How often you hang out with her?
Well, we actually see each other almost every single night.
For how long?
I knew her in high school, so 6 years.
No, I'm saying like couple hours, few hours.
Couple hours.
All right, so 5 nights a week, the 3 hours that you can give to him, instead you give them to a friend.
Well, I always asked him to come with. I never wanted to spend time away from him. I wanted him to be as involved with my friends as I was with his friends.
You know what you just said, 3 hours a night, 2 or 3 hours a night, 5 days a week. He wants to be alone with you those 2 or 3 hours, at least I'm sure 3 of those nights or 4 of those nights.
I misunderstood. I thought you meant now, not when we were dating.
No, when you were dating?
So when we were dating, I actually went over to his house more often than he came over to mine because he has a dog.
But we're talking about the going out part. He says that 90 days after he met you, you began partying more so than you did before the 90 days.
Okay.
Meaning you gave him a different impression of yourself as a woman who doesn't party as much as he came to find out.
We didn't really party per se.
Okay, hang out with your friends. What are you suing him for, ma'am?
I'm suing him for $2,340.
I'm with you. She can't even explain herself. You were very concise, very thorough, didn't have one hiccup in your testimony.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Dodged around, and before I thought you were talking about that, I thought you were about this, yes, no, oh, party, didn't party, yeah, party up the street, party. Oh, man, I'm with him. All right.
We actually see each other almost every single night.
For how long?
Oh, I knew her in high school, so 6
No, I'm
years.
saying like couple hours, few
Yep.
hours.
Couple hours.
All right, so 5 nights a week, the 3 hours that you could give to him, instead you give them to a friend.
Defendant Garrett Meister is being sued by his ex-girlfriend, who claims Garrett was manipulative.
Now let's get to the money. Tell me what happened here.
So I loaned him $2,500 in April with the intention that he would at some point pay me back. So far, he has given me $160, which is why I'm suing for the $2,340, which I do have a recording of him saying that he would promise to pay me back, which is
Was the payment plan?
not a payment plan. There was no payment plan set up.
Let me hear from you, sir. What do you say to this?
So, Your Honor, she did give me the loan for the $2,500 as she stated. There was never a question that I owed her money, and I fully intended to
Right.
pay her. After we broke up, Courtney called me at home one night, and she demanded that I pay her everything
When?
immediately. That was about a week after we broke up. So end of
know
June.
when you broke
the
up.
end of June, Your Honor.
When?
The end of June.
End of June.
Correct.
All right. So she wanted her money
It would have been
within 90 days.
the conversation he's talking about was June 14th.
Okay. Well, that's even less. You wanted your money in less than 90 days. 2,000. That's what you're saying. And you have to have a reason to believe he wasn't going to pay you. Did he ever say he wasn't going to pay you?
At that point, he did not, but he did block me on every form of communication that we had.
And what made you think that that would last and therefore he not pay you?
Because he never admitted to owing me money over text message or otherwise, which is why I recorded the conversation.
He's admitting today, but you're saying he never admitted when you asked him?
When I loaned him the money, he said he would pay me back. But up until then, after that conversation, he didn't talk about it over text.
Within 90 days, what did he do? What happened to make you believe he wasn't going to pay you?
He literally told me he wasn't going to pay me. because we
Okay,
didn't
and that's
have a
what I'm
written
not,
agreement.
that's what you told me earlier, and that's what the text I'm going to read or video I'm going to see or something?
The video you have is of the conversation on June 14th, but then when I found out that he had blocked me on all forms of communication, I figured out where he worked so I could ask him one last time. And he said, well, we don't have a written agreement, so I'm not going to pay you, and then hung up on me.
Sorry, did you ever tell her that?
I did. The reason I blocked her is because she was harassing.
I didn't care about you blocking her. Okay. Did you tell her you weren't going to pay her?
She said she was going to take me to court. I said, I'll see you in court. I told her
Why does she have to go to court? Why couldn't you just say right then, yes, I'm going to pay you? When you say take me to court, that means no, I'm not going to pay you. What's your counterclaim for? $2,500 for what?
For harassment, Your Honor.
Pardon?
Harassment, Your Honor.
How so?
After we broke up.
Didn't hang out with him.
After our relationship ended, the reason that I did have to block Courtney on social media was because she was having her friends message my new girlfriend who I was in a relationship with at the time.
I did not do that.
How do you know that?
I've shown the messages from
You have them with you?
I do not.
Go ahead.
Her best friend sent them to my girlfriend. After that, Courtney was calling a mutual friend of ours, asking about my relationship, asking about where I work. She was calling me at work, so I ended up
Saying what?
She asked me about money because I blocked her.
She spoke to you at work?
She called me at work one day, yes.
Okay.
I told her it was not the time or the place.
Okay.
So that at that point, I actually switched employment. I switched stores that I was working for because she didn't need to call me at work.
So you left your job because she called you at work?
Correct.
All right, I don't believe you. Your claim is dismissed for harassment. Think you're a liar, just like you lied earlier about whether you had agreed to pay her. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff. He did finally admit that he told you he wasn't going to pay you, even though he stood up here. I have every reason to pay her, Your Honor. I owe her. I know I owe her. That was his first testimony until we get to what you said. And then I said, did you ever tell her? Yeah, I told her I wasn't going to pay her. Go ahead. Judgment for the plaintiff. Your claim is dismissed.
I just loaned you the money to better you as a person. And the fact that you did that was really
Not as is when you told me that I wasn't Braden's dad anymore the day we broke up.
Yeah,
and then you told me that if I didn't pay you, I didn't care about him.
You weren't Braden's dad. I asked you to step in the
Is that why you were having him refer to me as dad? Is that because you were having referred to me as
You
that? 'Cause
forced me to do that.
I didn't
so
force you
I
to
don't
do
want to
anything.
hear that.
I cared about that kid. I cared
If
about
you
him. And I
cared
cared
about him
you.
so much, you would have actually helped me raise him and like change
Really?
his diaper
Because
and stuff.
last time I checked, when you and I got together, he just got kicked out of one day. Karen's about to get kicked out of another. Who's the one who fixed that? Was it you or me? I disagree.
Plaintiff Devardi Polanco says he and the defendant met while working together, but he claims the defendant got fired for drinking on the job. Devardi suing because he gave the defendant money for a car, but he never got the vehicle. Defendant Vincent DiNapoli insists he did not get fired. He left his job because he got hurt. Vincent claims he was never selling a car. He simply introduced Devardi to his friend who was selling a car. So he was nothing more than a middleman.
Start with you.
All right. I grew up in Paterson, New Jersey, in a rough neighborhood. My dad was a mechanic. Both my parents were
rough neighborhood. All the Patterson is rough.
Yeah. And then I was thankful enough that my parents were, weren't on drugs and nothing like that. So I was on the straight and narrow. I didn't get into the streets too much and nothing like that.
Great. And see, I've spreaded a stereotype of Patterson, which is not true. No inner cities are all bad.
Yep.
And certain neighborhoods are. So I was just saying that, but I'm just talking stuff, and I'm glad you cleared it up. You come from a good household.
Defendant Vincent DiNapoli is being sued by his former co-worker, who claims Vincent got fired for drinking on the job.
Raised properly, and you stayed on the straight and narrow, but it is a tough town, Patterson. Go ahead.
And my dad is a mechanic, and he's been a mechanic since high school. So I.
You don't have to talk like that in here. You can talk a little more upbeat and joyous. I know you got to talk tough and downside because you're in Patterson. That's how you got to talk, man. I want that butter, man. Hey, that in here. So, but I know how you got to talk. Yeah. Go ahead, because that doesn't fit you, but I know you got to do it. Back in the hood, that's how you got to talk.
Yep.
We'll keep from getting robbed. All right. So, how were you in school?
What was that?
How were you in school?
I was a pretty good student in school. I didn't go to college right away. I went to college afterwards when I was about 25, 26.
Okay.
Well, I went to college for mechanics and working on cars. That's my passion.
Good.
So that's how I met the defendant, through a dealer that I was working at. And, that's the backstory there.
All right. Good. Glad to hear that. And let me hear from you, sir.
He's a great kid. I grew up in the streets of Brooklyn. I had a little bit of a rougher upbringing.
Yeah, you seem like Mob. Were you Genovese? Who were you? I'm sorry, but you the one said it. You
I am where I am. I grew up where I grew up.
You should come in here and say, I grew up like him.
Patterson, Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. What can I do?
But, he's from the streets.
I'm not about that. But.
There you go. All right. You grew up in the streets of Bensonhurst, so go ahead, Brooke. Go ahead.
I know we had a rough going up. So, bottom line is that, school
How'd you get
was...
into mechanics?
Huh?
How did you get into mechanics?
At 13 years old, I started changing oil, and then one thing led to another, and then I went to a school bus company, and then I went to my own business, and then I wound up in the dealership, and then
Car dealership?
Excuse me?
Car dealership?
Car dealership, yeah. That was
you
the
own
tail end. No. It was a franchise.
You watching money. Huh?
It's a Gambino thing.
Did you say construction too?
Well, yeah, that was part of it. My hands are clean, but no construction in.
Yeah, I know. That's the point. Clean hands working construction. You know what type of work he was doing. All right. And so your association with the young man, you met him when?
Well, through a dealership that I worked at. And, one thing led to another, and here we are.
Good kid?
Great kid, yeah.
Good.
Great kid. I respect him a lot. I like him.
Good. All right. Anytime you got a tough guy that likes a good kid, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
Why
and
am I
tell
a
me.
tough guy? Why all of a sudden I'm a tough
Because you
guy?
said you from the streets.
So why does
That's
it make
the
me a
first
tough
thing
guy?
out of your mouth.
Right away, I'm
Guy,
being
you
the tough
can't
guy.
survive in the streets without being tough.
He's from the streets of Patterson. I'm from the streets
But
of Brooklyn.
he's not a street guy.
Oh, okay.
He's a square.
Go ahead. Think of some other Brooklynites, but you're not supposed to talk. See, I can say about Gotti because he's, God bless his soul.
That's right.
You can't, you got to keep my name out your mouth. Street guys, but I know a lot in Brooklyn.
Wow.
A lot of them in prison. All right.
You know how he says that he thinks that I'm a good guy, whatever. But contrary, I don't think he's a good guy because at the job when I came back, I went on vacation for a little while because my dad had a heart attack. So when I came back, he got fired from the job for drinking, I guess, or being drunk on the job. So that's what threw red flags on me right away.
That's not the case.
Tell me.
I had left the job because I got hurt. And my manager, when I was coming back, got fired.
Okay.
And it was,
Hurt how? In the liver?
excuse me?
Hurt how?
No, I got hurt. I
Liver?
have asthma and I hurt my leg.
Drinking.
That wasn't the case. Not at all.
Asthma or something of that nature. All right. It wasn't anything serious. Good to hear.
Well,
All right. Sir, $3,000, how does he owe you for that?
Well, he used to come down to the shop and talk to the techs and stuff and joke around. And
that was part of our job.
And
Finish.
he used to come down a lot. And, at the time, I thought he was a cool guy, whatever. He's come down, joke around and everything. And then in January of 2019, he started showing everybody a car that he said he was selling personally. It was a BMW 750. So
Never came to the car never went there, ever. It wasn't my car. I'm not the owner. I never had position. I couldn't drive the car. It wasn't mine.
You're stuttering over there.
Defendant Vincent Napoli is being sued by his former co-worker, who claims Vincent got fired for drinking on the job.
Go ahead.
Well, he showed me the car. I showed my wife the picture of the car because he showed me a picture of the car. And then she said, she liked the car. I said I could fix the car and customize it so we could keep it for ourselves. And like I said earlier, I started making payments, to him of $3,000. And when I went on vacation and came back, like I said earlier, he was gone from the job. I was trying to contact him, call him, text him, everything. For months, I didn't get nothing from him. So from there on, I started, distrusting the whole thing. I feel like he was scamming me from the beginning.
Sir, what do you say?
He did go on vacation. He was telling me that he was relocating to, I believe it was Florida. Had nothing to do with me. I wasn't the owner of the car. I'm not the owner of the car. Had nothing to do with the sale.
He's capping on that.
I was the person that introduced him and the person who was repairing the vehicle, not even the owner, and both of them are from the same town in the Dominican Republic, so they talk their language. I don't speak their language, so I have no idea what they said.
Spanish?
So,
you mean you don't speak Spanish?
No, I don't speak Spanish.
That's their language.
So, respectfully, I was okay with it because it didn't bother me at all. And that was it. Whatever happened from that point forward, that was it.
Santo Domingo, Puerto Plata?
Dominican Republic. My parents are from there. I was born in New York.
Right, but which city?
My father's from Villa Vasquez and my mom's from Santiago.
Okay, Santiago.
And the town of Santiago is where my friend was from. So they had like a connection. So they went about their business and I was out of it.
Was
pretty
it
much
clear that it was his car and not yours?
No, it wasn't my car. I had nothing to do with it.
It was clear to him?
Yes. I brought him to the garage.
That's not true. He told me
I brought him to the garage to see the car and he test drove it. And I was with him when he did that. And then whatever happened from that point forward.
No, when did you tell him, I'm selling this for my buddy?
I wasn't selling it for my buddy. I just made the introduction. And then from
and
that
you never
point forward,
received any
that was
money
it.
from anybody?
No, he gave me money because we worked, two of us worked in
Gave you
in
money
Little
for
Falls.
what?
And the place,
For the
1700.
car, right?
Excuse me?
He gave you money for the car?
Yes.
Well, you were involved. You took the money.
Well, yeah, I did the transfer from him to the other guy, yeah.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Did you tell him it was for another person?
Yes.
All right, well, I thought you sounded a little confused on that. And you say he didn't?
No, he told me from the get-go it was his car. He said he was selling the car, and that was.
And you put the money in his hand.
I put the money in his hand. I gave him
When did you
payments.
later hear that it was about another person?
I didn't hear till another person till way after in September when he gave me a text back, saying that he was gonna give me the money back.
Never said that.
I got the proof on.
So you told you say you told him.
He said when he came back from wherever he went, because he disappeared, he said that he left. He went to Florida.
The man went on vacation.
It's like
He's the one that
No, he
disappeared,
didn't go
not
on
me.
vacation.
You
He
so
left.
used
in a
to
trunk
using
somewhere.
those terms. The man disappeared.
He's the one that disappeared, not me. I went back to work.
Sir.
Garbage dump.
Yeah, what did he go to the garbage dump next? Go ahead. Go ahead.
This guy, man.
Go ahead, sir.
I feel like he's the one that disappeared because when I came back from vacation to go back to work, he
Well,
wasn't
that's
even
more
there.
likely.
Yeah.
that sounds more likely. And I'm not stereotyping Italians.
Yeah, you
You're
are.
the no, I'm not. You said it.
You're stereotyping this Italian.
You said it. You said I was a street kid.
I was a street kid. At one period of time, we were all street kids. Just we wanted better.
And let me explain, like I tell people all the time, you are everything that you have been. You still are.
And I'm proud of everything I've been.
There you go. And that's my point. So I'm a street kid, you're a street kid. I'm a college educated guy, you're a businessman. I'm a family man, you might be a family man.
100%.
We're all of that. We don't try to deny what you were, so you're a street guy. It's in you.
Defendant Vincent DiNapoli is being sued by his former co-worker, who claims Vincent got fired for drinking on the job.
Now you have a text.
Oh, yes, I do. So on page 2,
Okay.
he said, hey, if I don't answer, that means I can't hold. I will give you the money back that you are due. He said he has to get back to work. He's dealing with legal matters or something like that.
He said, I'll give you the money back. What's the matter with you? You said you'd give him the money back. You said it right here. What's the matter with you?
No, yeah, no.
What's the matter with you?
got
You
the
said
money. He got
that
the
right
money.
here. What's the matter with you?
He got the money back, but it didn't come from me.
What's the matter with you? You said you're going to give it back. I'll give you back the money. You'll just do. I just have to
But
get
the money
back
that
to
he
work.
gave me wasn't
You said it.
$3,000. It was
What's the matter with you?
$1,700, and I didn't give it back to him. The party that owned the car gave it back.
You said you were giving it back to him. You took responsibility when you sent the text. Whether it was your responsibility or not, and I believe it was, based on what I just read in this text, I believe you owe him, sir. So I'm going to grant you judgment, $3,000. Tell Tony I said hi. I haven't talked to him in a while. He told me don't call him till I need him.
Thank you so much, Judge.
Listen, if I talk to you outside, don't worry about it. You know what I mean?
He straight played me. He knew it from the beginning. So that's it. I don't play that, man. You lucky it came to court and not, somewhere else.
Nah, we're good to go. I mean, it is what it is. He's a good kid, but unfortunately, it didn't work out the way it was planned.